None of us, as a rule, has the slightest notion of the real capabilities of his mind. But believe me when I say that your mind can be compared to an undiscovered gold mine, and it makes no difference whether you're 17 or 70. Look at it this way: your goal is in the future. Your problem is to bridge the gap that exists between where you are now and the goal you intend to reach. This is the problem to solve. Robert Seashore, when he was chairman of the Department of Psychology at Northwestern University, pointed out that successful people are not people without problems. They are simply people who've learned to solve their problems. There you have it. Living successfully, getting the things we want from life is a matter of solving the problems that stand between where we are now and the point we wish to reach. No one is without problems. Problems are a part of living. But let me show you how much time we waste in worrying about the wrong problems. Here's the reliable estimate of things people worry about. Things that never happen, 40%. Things over the past that cannot be changed by all the worry in the world, 30%. Needless worries about our health, 12%. Petty, miscellaneous worries, 10%. Real, legitimate worries, 8%. In short, 92% of the average person's worries take up valuable time because painful stress, even mental anguish, are absolutely unnecessary. Of the real legitimate worries, there are two kinds. There are problems we can solve, and there are the problems beyond our ability to personally solve. But most of our real problems usually fall into the first group, the ones we can solve if we learn how. There must be millions of people today who feel they are being barred from the life they want because they look upon problems not as challenges to be met, but as wide chasms beyond their ability to bridge. A little research proves that successful people have the same kinds of problems other people have. One of the very real benefits of working with psychologists or psychiatrists comes from learning that there are hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions, of other people with problems identical to our own. So the whole thing boils down to a matter not of problems, which are common to us all, but of our ability to solve them. Now, I'm going to assume you have decided on a goal. Remember, you will become and you will achieve what you think about. That is, if you stay with it, you will reach your goal. But how? Here is where your mind comes into play. What is your mind, really? Perhaps the best way to describe it is to quote Pulitzer Prize winning playwright Archibald MacLeish. In his play, The Secret of Freedom, a character says, "The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse." That's uncomfortably true. The human mind is the one thing that separates us from the rest of the creatures on earth. Everything that means anything to us comes to us through our minds. Our love of our families, our beliefs, all of our talents, knowledge, abilities, everything is reflected through our minds. Anything that comes to us in the future will almost certainly come to us as a result of the extent to which we use our minds. And yet, it is the last place on earth that the average person will turn to for help. Do you know why? Do you know why most people don't automatically turn on their own vast mental resources when they're faced with a problem? It's because they've never learned how to think. That is a fact, believe it or not. Most people never think at all during the entire course of their lives. They remember, but that's not thinking creatively or thinking in new directions. They react to stimuli, but again, that's not thinking. Remembering to set the alarm clock at night and getting up when it rings in the morning does not take thought, nor do showering, shaving, getting dressed, eating breakfast, and going to work. At work, we once again fall into comfortable routines. At quitting time, we go home and start repeating the process. Let me say it again. Most people do not know how to think. When they are faced with a problem, they will go to any length to avoid thinking. They will ask advice from the most illogical people, usually people who don't know any more than they do, such as next door neighbors and members of their families. Very few of them have referenced books, but much more important than that, only one in I don't know how many thousands will take a large notepad, write the problems at the top of the page, and then deliberately turn on his thinking apparatus. But some people do think, they do indeed. Reflect for a moment on the human mind. Consider what it has accomplished. As you do, realize that we are developing so rapidly that we've come farther in the realms of progress in the past, let's say 50 years ago, than we have in all the preceding 10,000 years of human civilization. Let me repeat that. As you do realize that we are developing so rapidly that we've come farther in the realm of progress in the past 50 years than we have in all the preceding 10,000 years of human civilization. Of all the scientists who ever lived, it's estimated that 90% of them are alive today. In the area of ideas and human advancement, we've reached a plateau so high it was undreamed of by even the most optimistic forecasters as recently as 30 years ago. But every new idea triggers additional ideas. So now we're in an era of compounding advancement in every area and on every front that staggers the imagination.